Hey, happy Monday, everyone. Today we continue with the 40 things to give up for Lent and beyond. Today we are giving up the spirit of poverty. A couple years back, I took my daughter on a special daddy-daughter date night, and one of our stops for this date was to go to McDonald's, where I bought her a Happy Meal. We sat down to eat our meal, and partway through our meal, I asked her if she would give me one of her fries. Of course, her response was, "No, these are my fries." Now, what my daughter failed to realize was this was the source of her fries. She didn't realize that I had the potential to buy her even more fries than she would ever possibly be able to eat. And that's the way it is with God sometimes. We fail to consider the source, that He has given us everything we have and is able to give us more than everything that we need. God, we may have the ability to earn a paycheck, to be able to buy things in our life, but ultimately the source again is God. God is the one who gave us the ability to earn a paycheck in the first place. Now, living with a spirit of poverty is not the same thing as living in poverty. Living with the spirit of poverty is living with the mentality that there is not enough, or a fear that there is not enough. Living with a spirit of poverty puts our trust in what we can afford versus what God is able to do. We forget God is able to provide, and we limit ourselves to what we can earn. Many churches are stuck in a spirit of poverty. They forget that God is the one who pays the bills. Ministry becomes about pinching pennies rather than sowing the seeds of the gospel, and therefore ministry becomes less than effective. That's why Jesus, when He sent His disciples out in Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 through 15, He sends them out with anything in the journey. That way they would be required to trust in God to supply everything that they need. Effective ministry starts with being faithful to Him and then trusting in His supply, trusting God will pay the bills, because ultimately this ministry, it is His ministry. The opposite of living with a spirit of poverty is to live with generosity. It is living with the mindset that God calls us to use what He has entrusted us with. He calls us not to bury our treasure, but to put it to work. And if we fail to put to use the treasure that God gives to us, guess what? He's going to take it away, and He's going to give it to someone else who will use it. Look up Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to verse 30 if you don't believe me. If we want a model of generosity, we need to look no further than Jesus Himself. Jesus gave us everything, and there was nothing that He withheld. He gave us His very life. And if Jesus will give us His life as we think about it, what else would He not give if it's for our good and for the glory of God? Jesus has riches in store beyond anything we can possibly imagine. And every time we take a step of faith to live generously, it will build our trust in His ability to supply in an unlimited way. Hey, happy Monday, everyone. We will see you tomorrow on Tuesday.